Catcalling is a term referring to when a man whistles, yells, hollers, or makes a comment to a woman in a sexual manner. It's something that happens thousands of times a day all over the world. How safe are Philippine streets for women? The streets bear witness to many of the country's daily horrors: heavy traffic, street families begging for food, vehicular accidents, theft among other crimes, and violence. An example of such violence is sexual harassment, as experienced by Filipino women. In Quezon City alone, 3 in 5 women were sexually harassed at least once in their lifetime. The Philippines, of course, is not alone. Street harassment remains a problem among several cities worldwide. To solve the issue, the United Nations Women launched the Safe Cities Global Initiative, a flagship program aiming to eliminate sexual violence and harassment against women and girls in urban public spaces. The initiative covers 25 cities globally. In the Philippines, the program is piloted in Quezon City. With a population of over 3 million, Quezon City is Metro Manila's most populous city. It also has one of the biggest urban poor populations and informal settler families. As a start, Quezon City Mayor Herbert Bautista is pushing for additional streetlights and more well-lighted streets across the city. In February 2016, SWS surveyed women and men in barangays Payatas and Bagong Silangan in Quezon City regarding sexual harassment in public spaces. The results are appalling. Although both women and men have a general sense of safety in their barangays, men feel safer than women, the survey revealed. Meanwhile, 58% of respondents ages 12 to 24 said they were not sure if Quezon City is safe or not. As for women, 88% of respondents ages 18 to 24 experienced sexual harassment at least once. 34% of them experienced the worst forms of sexual harassment: flashing, public masturbation, and groping. Across all ages, 12 to 55 and above, wolf whistling and catcalling are the most experienced cases. Other forms of sexual harassment include stalking, voyeurism, rubbing or touching, indecent gestures, and public masturbation. Such abuses can happen on the streets, in and around public transportation, schools and workplaces, public washrooms, and other public spaces. In the Philippines, 58% of such incidents happen on the streets, major roads, and esquinitas. Physical forms of sexual harassment occur mostly in public transport. Other reported areas are the church, internet shops, parks, stores and malls, school grounds, and terminals and waiting sheds. In fact, 1 in 7 of the surveyed women experienced sexual harassment at least once every week in the past year. Victims, according to UN Women, may bear psychological impacts such as anxiety, fear, depression, post-traumatic stress disorder. Who are the perpetrators? 70% of women said they were sexually harassed by a complete stranger. Other culprits include someone they see around the neighborhood, acquaintances, and someone they are close to. Contrary to what most people might think, majority of sexual harassment incidents happen in broad daylight. 70% of cases happen during the day between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. Only 4 of cases were reported to occur at night. Aside from women, the lesbian, gay, bisexual, and transgender LGBT community is also vulnerable. In fact, the Safe City program works with the non-governmental organization, Galang, to train LGBTs on how to deal with sexual harassment in public spaces. Quezon City police officers, judges, and prosecutors are also trained on how to be more gender-sensitive in addressing sexual harassment reports. Aside from women, the survey also interviewed male respondents and found out that 3 out of 5 men confessed to committing a form of sexual harassment at least once in their lifetime. In summary, 1 in 7 men commit sexual harassment at least daily in the past year. Although all barangays and police stations are required to have a fully operating Violence Against Women and Children, or VAWCDES, not all survivors come forward. In the survey, 1 in 2 women admitted that they did nothing after being harassed. The survey found the following reasons as to why some women remain silent. I would be in great danger if I take any action. Nothing would happen anyway. I was stunned and overcome by fear. Victim blaming also surfaced as one of the problems experienced by women. More women than men think that it is the woman's fault why she gets harassed and that there are women who deserve to be harassed. Sadly, 27% of women strongly or someone believe that women are to blame. This is where education comes in for both women and men. The Philippines is lauded by governments abroad for having several pro-women laws. Advocates, however, point out that not all laws bear teeth. The law declares all forms of sexual harassment in the employment, education, or training environment as unlawful. The UN Women, however, argued that street harassment is not well discussed in the Philippines.